Today on the Gamekeepers of Mossy Oak, you'll also learn a deadly strategy for getting rid of those wild hogs. But first, Gamekeeper Hank Parker is about to tell you how to not just plant, but plan your food plots. Hey, welcome back. Jaeger Pro's Rod Pinkston is about to break down the ideal strategy for not just shooting wild hogs, but really getting them under control.
The biggest mistake that most people make with feral hogs is that everybody wants to treat a feral hog like they're a game animal. You cannot manage feral hogs like you do a deer, an elk, or a bear. Where it would be unethical to shoot a fawn deer or an elk calf or a bear cub, it is not at all unethical to shoot a baby pig. And the reason that I say that, and that's where a lot of the controversy comes in with what it is that we do, is that, and for all intents and purposes, a feral hog is an invasive species. They're nothing more than an agricultural pest. So if you've got termites in your house, don't you want the pest control company to come and kill all the pregnant termites and the baby termites and all the termite eggs? To an American farmer, a hog is nothing more than a 150-pound termite. If you look back in 2006, nobody produced a thermal anything for civilians. But we realized that there's a market for that because it helped us be more successful. Same thing with night vision equipment. This right here is a Remington R25 rifle with one of our 4-power night vision scopes. If you try and go out and duplicate what we're doing on television shows and YouTube videos using a piece of equipment that only costs $1,000 or $1,500, it's not going to perform the same as something that costs $4,000 or $5,000. It might look exactly the same on the table at a trade show versus what it would be sitting right here on this rifle. But 90% of the performance is how well that image intensifier tube performs. And that's 90% of your price as well. So you take this scope, 3 things really that you want to pay attention to. The signal to noise ratio, and that will be a number that should be anywhere from about 20 to 30. All of our scopes have a signal to noise ratio above 25. Another thing that you want to look at is actually the FOM, the figure of merit. That's going to be a number somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000. All of our scopes are going to have a minimum of at least 1,600 for a figure of merit. And the other thing you want to pay attention to is the line pairs per millimeter. That could be anywhere from 32 up to 72. And all of ours are going to have a minimum of 64 line pairs per millimeter. Now, it could be that somebody sees a scope that's a 64 line pair per millimeter and a 23 or 24 signal to noise ratio. That scope is not going to perform anything at all like what this one will with an 1800 figure of merit and a 28 signal to noise ratio. We're going to take and put on a LaRue tactical mounting system, and we're going to pair it with a military grade infrared illuminator. This is actually an infrared laser. And the best place to put these infrared illuminators, here you have your scope right on your Picatinny rail on your semi-automatic rifle. A lot of your semi-automatic rifles have a short Picatinny rail up front. A lot of times that's where the gas block or the front sight post would be. We want to take and attach it right to that front sight post, or that short pick rail, and tighten it down. And everybody thinks, well, that's sitting right in line to where I'm going to be looking at with my night vision scope. You want to put your infrared light right down the barrel. Your night vision scope can't focus at something 2 feet away. It has to focus on something about 10 feet away. So don't think that it's like a daytime scope, that something in front of it is going to cause a problem. That's where you want your infrared illuminator. And you want a good quality night vision scope that has a high signal to noise ratio, a high figure of merit, and a high line pair per millimeter. That's what has the best optimum performance at night.
Be sure to be back here next week. You'll get expert tips on harvesting bass, plus the key to tracking deer movement. See you next time on the Gamekeepers of Mossy Oak.